closed his eyes and imagined the Eva Aphrodite on the water's surface. Lost in keen desire, he didn't notice the hull's gentle rocking along the ocean's floor was somehow different from normal. But when he opened his eyes a moment later and looked upwards, he realized the water's surface was fast approaching. The moment he questioned the turn of events, the deck below him dropped, and the Eva Aphrodite plummeted back to the ocean's floor, sending a cloud of silt billowing upwards. What just happened? Standing on the deck, he watched as nearby fish hastily moved away from the unsteady wreckage. After a moment of reflection, Jack asked aloud, "Is it possible? Did I do that?" With a renewed sense of power, Jack stretched out his arms and willed the ship upwards to the light. It didn't happen instantly. First, there was a gentle rumbling from below, a shifting of the boat's hull against the ocean floor. It then rocked slightly, sending more silt ballooning upwards. But then the ship seemed to unseat itself, and to Jack's delight, it began to rise. Slowly at first, and then picking up speed, scattering the sea life above from its path. Unable to contain his delight, Jack began to laugh, the intensity of his laughter in sync with the rise of the downed ship. At last, the once defeated wreckage broke through the surface, sending sprays of seawater in every direction. Jack saw for the first time in what seemed like an eternity, blue sky, unfiltered sky. He knew then it was only the beginning. "Home, Eva Aphrodite, let's go home," he roared. The motorless ship, powered only by Jack's determination, headed east toward the rising sun. It was only when the shoreline came in view did he begin to lose confidence. Nothing was as he remembered. For a brief moment, the ship slowed and began to fall back into the sea, yet Jack had waited too long to quit now. Focusing his energy, he lifted the Eva Aphrodite up above the water and moved it swiftly toward land. Instead of searching for the once familiar harbor, he concentrated all his energy on the swiftly approaching wide stretch of pale sand. As he neared the shore, the Eva Aphrodite took flight, hovering like a seagull over the water's surface, until at last it reached the beach and settled itself a good distance from where the waves met the sand. It took a few moments before the ship settled itself comfortably on the beach. Looking out from the top deck, Jack surveyed his surroundings. "Where am I?" he asked aloud. "Am I even in Oregon?" Making his way off the boat, the soles of Jack's dress shoes landed on the beach. He took a moment to wipe imaginary sand from his slacks before heading south. He had almost convinced himself he had arrived somewhere other than Frederickport when he saw a familiar building. It was George Hemming's house. With an excited grin, Jack raced toward George's back porch. Normally he would just walk in. After all, this had been his home. Yet Jack wasn't sure how long he had been gone, and he imagined George had long since rented out his room. He started to knock on the back door. Instead of his knuckles making a sound against the wooden door, they moved effortlessly through it. Without thought, Jack followed his hand into the house, his body moving through the solid door. Once inside, he looked around. Nothing was as he remembered. Confused, he stepped back outside again and took another look at the rear of the building. "I'm sure this is George Hemming's house," Jack muttered. Moving back inside, Jack surveyed his surroundings. If he imagined the space without the furniture or any of the wall hangings and other items scattered around, it was as he remembered George Hemming's home to be. Jack had been gone a long time. How long, exactly, he wasn't sure, but he was certain if George was still around, he would probably have new furniture by now. When Jack walked into the kitchen, he was surprised to find a large yellow dog sitting in the middle of the room, watching him, its tail wagging. "When did George get a dog?" Jack asked.